Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about credit. We're going to actually talk about credit and debt. The title of the lesson is Credit Crush. A few weeks ago, you did an assignment and you were asked to unpack what's inside of a credit score. Where does a credit score come from? And in subsequent assignment, you did a credit report. You did a credit report for yourself. So in the assignment that related to credit scores, one of the things that over the years I've come to believe is that credit scores are really designed for the purpose of protecting the credit card industry, the credit industry. And so in today's lesson, Credit Crush, the title actually comes from Dave Ramsey, who says it's not a credit score, it's an I love credit score. So if you will recall the story of Billy, it was a story about a boy and his toys, and I shared that in our class discussion. If you missed the story, I'll post it again soon, but for now I just want to pick up where we left off. So we set the scenario with Billy and Sally, and Billy was a young man that I met back in the day when I first started teaching this course. So Billy was purchasing some tires at a Firestone store where I was to purchase the same tires that were on sale. Billy had just bought an F-150 Ford pickup truck, which I went on in the story to talk about how, as a master mechanic, F-150 is a great vehicle. It's a well-built truck. I'd say the best built truck ever. In fact, it's the most popular selling vehicle in the history of automotive sales. So anyway, Billy had this truck. We hit it off. We became kind of buddies. And I watched as Billy went from being there to purchase some tires that were on sale to letting Sally, the super sales professional lady, talk him into the most expensive tires, the most expensive wheels, and a lifetime alignment. And in addition to that, they found that he needed some work on his truck, and obviously he wanted to get the work done so that the tires didn't wear out. So anyway, that's a short version of the story about Billy, who came to purchase some tires that were on sale, but ended up buying the most expensive tires. He walked out with a bill of about $4,500. And then ultimately, Billy and Sally became more than friends. And so we pick up today in this lesson with a glance into Billy and Sally's financial plan. So what we're looking at here is Billy and Sally's financial plan. And you'll notice we have in their family profile, we have Billy, Sally, Billy Bob, and Sally Ann. So we're not going to really get into the different planning scenarios for each of the family members, but what we do want to do, what we will do, is we're going to take a look at their debt, at Billy's debt in particular. So we're going to go into the dashboard, jump into debt, and you'll see that Billy's, you can see there that his net worth is negative $66,000. But what we really want to do in this lesson is focus on his debt. So again, this is Credit Crush. And so the credit score, I love credit score. If you'll just think about how credit works for the benefit of the credit company, what I want to do in the next few minutes is crush not your credit score. I think that's a good thing to keep in good order, is your credit score, but I would like to help Billy and Sally identify the best plan of attack to get rid of their debt. So here we have the tool that you have in your financial plan as well, and it will allow us to create some quick strategies. So we see right now, if Billy continues to use the approach that he's using, it's going to show us how long it takes to pay off his debt and how much he's going to pay. So here we have Billy's mortgage, his car loan, his student loan, and his credit card. And they're listed there for you to see. Let's go over to payments and see what his current strategy is. So currently Billy's mortgage of $364,000, a 5.5% interest rate. His minimum payment's $1,959, but he's currently paying $3,400, which sounds like a great idea to pay off that mortgage early. That's his biggest loan, and he wants to get it paid off. So if we look at the details, we see how much he's paying year by year for the mortgage. We can see also the car loan, we can see his student loan, and then we can see his credit card. So you can do the same thing in your plan to take a look at those different details and the payments. So this is a summary of the payments, and again, this is the current strategy. This is what Billy is doing today, right now. So let's take a look at the strategies. First of all, Billy's paying his car loan. It's an 8% interest rate, 42% balance. He bought himself a new Ford F-150. He sold the used one, traded it in, and this is what he got. His minimum payment's $1,000, but he's paying $1,400. So that's the proposed payment in this scenario. Billy's student loan, $54,000, 4.7% interest. His minimum payment's $385, and that's what he's paying. And with his credit card of $22,000, 16% interest rate, and his minimum payment's $105, and that's what Billy's paying. So let's take a look at the strategies. What do we have for choices? So right now, the current payment, we just took a look at that. Let's reallocate to, let's say, reallocate payments lowest to highest balance. Let's start with that one and see. So we'll click on that scenario, hit refresh, and what we find is he'll have a total savings of over $200,000, and he'll pay off his debt 637 months sooner. So that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at the payment schedule. What we did is we took Billy's minimum payment, we're actually not making any changes to the mortgage, and we're not making any changes. Well, actually, we are making some changes. Instead of paying the current $1,400, we dropped that to the minimum for his car loan. His student loan, we're paying the minimum. And on the car, proposed payment is, we bumped that up to $1,937. So that's how we get to this point. Now, I think what we're going to see when we go on, this should be reallocate payments highest to lowest interest rate. So these two they're going to be different, but let's just take a look and see if we can identify the differences. So we'll refresh that, and basically you get the same outcome. So what that tells me is this algorithm, this machine, this computer module tool that's helping us identify the best strategy, it's not that different. When we look at the payment strategies, what we find is that Billy's car payment is the one that with the biggest interest rate, and to get the most benefit, we're going to pay that off sooner because it's a huge interest rate. So when we do that, now if we keep the current payment, here's what I wanted to really highlight. If Billy or you or anyone decides to keep the lowest minimum payment on that card, let's just look at the card. So in 2021, interest is $35.94, payments $12.60, ending balance $24.69. And this is typical of a credit card. This is one reason I think you would agree that the credit score is an I love credit score, because as long as Billy keeps making his minimum payment, his score could stay in pretty good shape. But what happens in this particular instance is the balance continues to go up. As long as he makes the payment, his balance keeps going up. Now, this may be an extreme scenario, and you may not find that on your credit card, but like I said earlier in the story, when my wife and I had our big fight over money back when we had our spending freeze, which I violated, and in the story I tell you the truth, she poured cold water on me. that's another story that I'll share in the future. But the point is, what my wife showed me back in the day when I was mismanaging money terribly is that our credit card bills were just going to keep going up. And that's what we see here with Billy. So the strategy that we're choosing is to pay off those debts that are costing the most. So when we click on that scenario, we hit refresh, we see the benefits, a total savings and a whole lot sooner payoff. So now your assignment will be to add your debt, add yourself a house, pick a nice house, and a car, pick a nice car, and a credit card. And I would say, just to make it interesting, add a toy. I would add a Winnebago or a Honda Goldwing. But you just choose whatever you want and add it in your plan so that you can play with these numbers and you can do your assignment to show me what you would do and how you would attack these debts if they were yours. And yours may be different. You get to pick whichever interest rates you think are right, and whatever would be available for your car, for your house. Do a little research and show me that you have a good idea of what kind of interest rate you would pay. So show me what your, what the value of the house that you want to buy would be. So pick a neighborhood that you want to live in, find a house, a price, and show me what you're going to do to buy that house. How much you're going to put down? What's the equity going to be? So in this debt, as you add these components to your plan, there are going to be a few things that you may have questions about. You know how to reach me? Send me a question and I'll help you along the way. But for now, that's the basics of your assignment, is to add these additional debts to your plan and then do a little scenario planning to show yourself the best way out of debt. Credit Crush is the name of this lesson. I'll see you in the next one.